There we go.
Hey folks, welcome to the IT workshop. I will turn it over to our presenters for today.
So I think that we can go ahead and start with some mail. What do you think, David? Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, I think we did mail into Calendar into Zoom last time, and that worked pretty well.
Perfect. And can the host enable sharing, please?
Oh, that's Daniel has to do that. That's her.
Oh, that wasn't what I had intended. Let's see. Oh, how do I enable sharing from here? More?
Multiple participants.
Yeah, it seems to disappear when I go to look for it. Okay, you should be good now. Maybe.
Let's go ahead and try. Alrighty. So everyone should be seeing my screen. I know I'm on the wrong screen now, but can everyone see what I'm looking at?
I see a black screen. Oh, no, that looks good.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Perfect. So you can see this email inbox, is that correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. So the few things that we want to cover on that is just a couple really easy things. The first one is if you're trying to email a colleague of yours, whether it be a professor or a fellow student, you can just click compose and you can just start typing in either their name or their email. So if you didn't know what David Raco's email was, you could start typing in Raco, and you can see they'll just populate anyone with the last name Raco. So that's a really easy way to get in touch with your colleagues or your professor. So same thing if I type in Hammer, I get Daniel Hammer. The other thing that we wanted to show you is the powerful search mechanism. I can come up here in this search box and I can type in whatever I want and I can search that way. However, if I search this way, I don't actually search the entire, all of the messages actually in my email. If I click down though on that search, I get a lot more options. And the one option that I do want to point out to you is this search dropdown. If I click on that, I can say I want to search all mail, or I can search mail, spam, and trash. So if you're not finding something that the professor might have sent you, definitely choose that option. And then you can type in who it was from, or the subject matter, or has the word. So if I typed in bridge and enter, I would get everything bridge related, okay? Does everyone follow that? Perfect. From that, I think I'm going to move that over to David, if you're ready.
Yeah, sure.
Let me go ahead and stop my share here if I can find it. One second.
When did you do this? How is this all?
There we go.
Okay, here we go.
Or if it's the same account.
So I'm going to show you Google Calendar here. And the easiest way to get to Calendar is if you're already in your mailbox, use this little speed dial icon up on the top. This is how you can get to all of the Google apps. You'll notice that we have Google Drive here, Hangouts, Meet. There's a lot in here, but we're looking for Calendar right now. So that's going to take you to calendar.google.com. It's going to log you in. Your calendar isn't going to have so much on it right away, but you're going to have your week overview here, and you're going to by default have your own calendar where you can start putting events onto any day of the week here. You can see that once you have events, they're all laid out nicely. You can color code these. You can have multiple calendars and color code them. So my events are all green here. All these orange ones are on our IT leave and events calendar, so I can tell them apart real easily. I can see all the details of what my meetings are coming up here, but no one else will be able to see that unless you explicitly grant them that permission. So like if Gordon was pulling up my calendar, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Actually, I'll just show it to you right now by pulling up his. So if I go to look at Gordon's calendar, for example, looks like you've got most of yours. Oh, or maybe it's because of my permissions, but normally like those would all be set to private. My Google account recently got upgraded, so I think maybe I can just see anybody's details, but for an average person, it would just show up as busy, that like, oh yeah, Gordon's busy from 1 to 2, but I wouldn't be able to see that it's because he's doing the Bridge IT workshop. So you can click on any of your calendar events to view more details, see the guest list, and modify it. To create a new calendar event, it's as easy as just finding the time and clicking and dragging. So if I wanted to create a new appointment, let me do some white space down here. Let's say I'm doing something at 6 o'clock. I can click and drag to set the duration. So maybe it's a 6 to 8 appointment or a 6 to 7. As soon as I let go, it's going to pop up this box where I can add some more details. You know, my appointment. I could do a few other things right here. If I want to get to the full options for setting this up though, I want to click more options, and that's going to take me to a separate page that makes it a lot easier for me to set up all the details for this event. I can add a location if I want. You can actually, this is tied into Google Maps, so if it's somewhere off campus, you can use the address, and this is going to tie right into Google Maps into this calendar event. Otherwise, this can be like a building on campus if you want, something like that. You can add a Google Meet video conference right here just by clicking a button. You know, up here you get more controls for changing the day of this event or the time. So if you need to make modifications to that, you can do it here. You can set repeating events. So maybe you want to set reminders for your classes, like what days of the week and when they are. So maybe this was my class and it's going to repeat weeklies on Thursdays. And when I save this, it's going to automatically duplicate this event every Thursday on my calendar. So it makes it really easy to set up those recurring notifications. To control your notifications, you can come down here. There's a calendar default. I think it's 10 for most people, and I set mine on 15. So I'll get a little ping on my web browser, or if I install the Google Calendar app on my phone, it'll actually ping my phone and let me know that this event is coming up. So it's really useful to go and actually install the free Gmail app on your smartphone just for that reason. I can add more notifications. So maybe I want to receive an email like 2 hours before the event. So I see that first and then get a notification 15 minutes. And you can layer these, like you can keep adding more. So if you have a really important deadline coming up, like maybe you have a term paper due, maybe you could schedule when that's due and have like an email go out like a week ahead of time, and then another one go out like a couple days ahead of time, and then start notifying you like as it's coming up. So you can get creative with that. Here's where you can customize the color. So my calendar default is this green color. Sometimes if I want to make something really pop out, like if this is really important, maybe I'll change it to red so it catches my eye and I know that it's something important. By default, your calendar is going to show you as busy during this time because I've scheduled something from 6 to 7. Occasionally, it's just a reminder to yourself, and maybe you want to have it make it look like you're free if someone else looks up your calendar. But most of the time, you're going to leave it on busy. And here's that visibility I mentioned. Default visibility, I guarantee you for your calendar is going to be private. And that just means that people can't see the details. They can only see that you have something booked from 6 to 7 on this day. If you want to make this public, you can, and it just means that people can see what the title is, and they could see anything you put down here in the description, and they could potentially see the guest list and stuff like that. But for the most part, you just want to leave it private. So now let's say you're looking to meet with someone. This is another really powerful feature of Google Calendar. Gordon showed you how you could just start typing in a person's name in Gmail and it looks them right up. It's the same thing with Calendar. So if I come over here to add a guest, like maybe I need Gordon to be a part of this, I just start typing in his name, it pulled him right up, and now he's added to this. But maybe I don't know if 6 to 7 is going to be a good time to meet with Gordon. I can use this find a time feature here, it's going to show me my calendar side to side with Gordon's or whoever's, and you can add more people here and it'll scale up. So if I add our colleague Jeff, you can see we have availability that lines up here from 6 to 7. Now, if I wanted this to be somewhere around here, that's going to conflict with Gordon, but maybe Jeff could still meet. So that's just how you use that feature to lock it in. And you can drag this around, and you see as I'm moving this, it adjusts the time up here. So I can say, oh, well, they're actually available at 5. Let's go ahead and do it then. And then I'm going to click save. Now, I'm not actually going to, for real, lock this in, but when you have guests and you go to save it, it's going to ask you, do you want to email an invitation to those guests? You can choose to do that. You could choose to lock it in but not email them, in which case they'll see it on their calendar, but unless they're looking at their calendar, they may not right away notice that you added them to this. So most of the time you want to go ahead and send that invite, or I could just dismiss and say, actually, never mind, I don't actually want to save this. And if I want to cancel out of what I was just doing, I just come up here to the cancel. It says, are you sure? Yeah, let's not actually schedule that. So another way that you can look for someone to like a time to meet is I was showing you how you can use this meet with button over here. And I'm going to pick on Gordon again. And you would normally just see their blocked availability. So maybe I'm going to meet with Gordon next week. I could use these.
Yeah, I don't know
right
if I like how you can see all my stuff on my calendar, just pointing out.
Yeah, I don't see anything too sketchy right now. But I could see right here on Tuesday, it's like, oh, okay, this looks pretty good. Like maybe we'll schedule a 2 to 3 here, and I could just put a little bit of information here and click save. It already has Gordon added to the guest list, and it makes it really easy to schedule a time to meet with somebody.
Hey, David, real quick, can you schedule something past 5 o'clock real fast with me and you?
Sure. I'm going to click the today button. So if you're messing around your calendar, maybe you end up all the way here in November and you're like, crap, I got to get back to today. Just click the today button and it'll take you right back to today. So let's go back and do that. A quick little appointment here. I'm going to use the quick edit. So I'm just going to add Gordon as a guest.
So right there, that's what I was going to point out, is that outside working hours. You can set your working hours in your settings of calendar. And so if you see that little sunset or whatever, that moon, I should say, not sunset, that means that they're like, hey, I'm not working. So I would not accept that.
Yeah, so it'd just be a prompt and I would know that he's probably not going to be available then. And I really think that's the basics of what you need to know about calendar. Like I said earlier, there is a free Google Calendar app for Android and iOS. It's really handy if you install that, because then you'll get notices on your phone when you have classes or important deadlines coming up. And it's just a great tool for staying organized. So unless anybody has questions about calendar, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over so Gordon can give you an introduction to Zoom.
David, can I just ask really quick?
Yeah.
Do the classes automatically show up in their calendar after they register, or do they have to sync it?
To the best of my knowledge, there's nothing that makes that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So once the student gets their course schedule,
Mm-hmm.
and knows what their week looks like, I would just real quick go in here and take advantage of that recurring. So you only have to set it up for the first week of term,
Right.
and then just make all those recurring events, and then you won't have to worry about it. It'll do the rest of the work.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And I would definitely do that for work as well. If you're working either, whether it be on campus or off campus.
Oh yeah. If you're a student employee, definitely a good use of that.
Put your work in, put your classes in. Yeah. So do you all want to talk about Zoom here? I would share the Zoom. I'm going to share it, but we're not actually going to see any of my settings, unfortunately, just due to the way that Zoom actually works. However, there's a few cool things that you can do in Zoom. One of the things that we were asked to cover is the virtual backgrounds. So instead of like showing you, if you can just follow along with me, your toolbar should be at the bottom of your Zoom application. And there are, going from left to right, there is a little microphone. So that microphone, you can just click to hear me and then unclick to hear me. Or you can also click the stop video, which will stop your video, or turn it back on. A lot of professors will actually make it kind of a requirement to keep your video and audio on. Maybe not audio, but definitely video. However, if you click on the up arrow next to the video button, you have some options. And one of them, if you are on the most current update, should be choose virtual background. And there's some default backgrounds that you can choose from. Let's see. And I actually need an update for that. Let's see. There we go. That's a sweet background. Obviously, it's not picking up the correct color. So there's a little button under manually pick color of the background if detected or color is not accurate. And so that didn't really work that well either. But if I pick my shirt, you know, so just the purple on my shirt now is actually the background. And so that little button can help if you're having some problems with whether or not your background is showing up correctly or not. There's also filters. So you can use video filters. And so video filters are, you know, pretty cool to where you can actually just add whatever you want. You can have a virtual mask and whatnot. And it looks like I do need an update. So if you're clicking on this and it says download, you're probably going to want to do that after this meeting. But definitely make sure that you're up to date and you can use all these various different settings in Zoom. Any questions about the virtual backgrounds or filters? I'm definitely going to imagine that there might be some limitations that professors might provide if it gets too distracting. So going forward though, the next thing that I would like to cover, if everyone's ready, is Box. Box is what we use to save files and collaborate with professors and students here on campus.
Gordon, can I interrupt you really quick? The only thing I see is a black screen right now.
Oh, let me go ahead and stop my
Yeah.
share and reshare that. It could be because of my Zoom is actually kind of freezing up. David, if you want to go ahead, if I can stop, if you can start the share.
Sorry, what did you want me to do?
There, you got it. Okay.
Sorry, Gordon, what were you wanting me to do here?
If you can start the share, it looks like my Zoom is actually having a little bit of a conniption. So we can see the box stuff. That would be awesome.
Sure. You can at least do the online interface here. Maybe I should actually show them how to get there. So if you go to sou.box.com, I'm already logged in, but you would go to our inside SOU login page, and then it would dump you to your all files. And I'll let Gordon tell me what he wants me to cover from here.
Let me go ahead and try to share now, David, that my Zoom stopped freezing, and then I can
Okay.
cover some stuff. If you want to stop the share, I can try that
Sure.
again. Definitely let me know, though, if you don't see anything, because that would be an issue. So 1 second. Does everyone see that share?
Got it.
Should be
Yeah, I see your screen now.
Got it.
Perfect. So the best way to get to anything that we offer at SOU is to use inside.sou.edu. It's a one-stop portal, and so that will give you access to anything you need. I'm logged in, you can tell because it says logged out up here on the top right. If I scroll down after I'm logged in, right here in this light blue quick access box, there is a box link. If I click on the box link, that's kind of how I would get to my box drive virtually online. It says, oh, part of Southern Oregon University. I am, so I'm going to continue. And single sign-on didn't take effect, so I will sign on. And we have what's called Duo installed, which is a multi-factor authentication. You can definitely turn that on yourself. We were required because we're in the IT department, so we have to have it. And so that's exactly what David just did. It's just a different way to get to it. And I think going through Inside SOU is a good route. So if you wanted, though, to access Box more easily, you can definitely do so. So Box is a lot like Dropbox or Google Drive, if any of you've used that. And so there's an application that you can have on either your Windows or your Macintosh machine. If I click the GC, which is my initials up here, you'll see some options in the top right. And from there, I can go down to apps and then official Box apps. And from here, these are all the apps that can work with Box. And so Box is very feature intensive. But Box Drive right here, if you just click that, then you can download this Box Drive by clicking Add. And what that will give you, let me stop the share and reshare something else. What that gives you is, let me just share my entire screen. It gives you options like, does everyone see this file explorer?
Yes.
Great. On the left-hand side, I've downloaded Box from where I just showed you. If I click on the Box, it's a drive that I can actually easily save stuff right from my computer. So you can download that on your home computer. You're going to have access to that on any machine on SOU's campus. And so when you're working in Word, obviously it'd be kind of troublesome to save it, right, and then upload it to Box. Instead of doing so, I would install the Box drive, and you can just save directly to Box from there. And that makes it really easy and collaborative. If, say, I wanted to share something, you can still do it within Box Drive. Maybe I want to share this particular file. If I right-click the file within the File Explorer, if it allows me to do so, I can click Share, and then I can say Copy Share Link or Manage Collaborators. And what that really does is it actually just opens up the Box Drive account online, and from there, that's when you have all these different various options. And so right now this is shared with the root admins and only myself, right? But if I click share over here, I can add. You might not be able to see that dialog box that came up, but from there you can add people. Do you see that, David, by chance, the share FGBA equipment box? Or does anyone see that?
You mean, does it show up in my list?
Right here on my screen, do you see invite people?
Yes.
Perfect. So here I can say, well, I'm going to give David Raco access, but I can make it to where David's only a viewer, because David's going to probably mess the spreadsheet up anyway. And so from there, though, if I thought that David was trustworthy, I could click editor, and then they can upload, download, preview, share, and edit. So if you want to just collaborate with someone and just show them something, then you'd have it as just a viewer. But if you wanted them to actually work on it with you, you could do editor, and you can actually work on that real time, both at the same time through the online whether it be Excel or Word programs. So Box is pretty neat and easy to use, but if you have any questions about that or anything that we've covered, I will suggest that you call the help desk, and our number I can put in the chat. But essentially, we should be able to help you with anything or get your answer routed to the correct person. Any questions about Box currently from anyone?
Yeah, so is it like unlimited storage, or is it like so many gigs, or?
That's a great question. I believe it's actually unlimited. David, do you have any other knowledge than unlimited?
Yeah, box storage is unlimited, but I think there's a maximum file size of like 15 gigabytes. So
Okay.
that's the max size any one file can be. But as long as they're under that, you can have an unlimited number of them.
And kind of to piggyback off that, do note that we are a Google campus, and we're not trying to push using Google Drive, but do note that that's pretty much unlimited as well. And so just to let you know, I'm actually not supposed to talk about Google Drive, but sometimes we use that more than Box, and it's also unlimited. So.
Can I ask about
Go
Box? Are there any applications or is there anything in Box that would be useful, like that once you like that is shared amongst the entire campus that students should know they have access to? Is that available through Box, or is that something else?
That's a great question. So your classes, when you enroll into a class, either the teacher will create or it's automatically created a folder structure for that particular class. And so if you see an email saying, oh, you're invited to this particular Box drive, and it has that CRN, then there's folders underneath that the professor may or may not utilize. As for all campus information, that's going to come through your email.
I simply ask because you might have teachers who have large video files that they choose to put on Box that they can't share on Moodle, because Moodle has like a threshold, a really low threshold for videos. So you might have stuff over there.
That's a great point. Any other questions about any of that? Any questions in general? We're here if you have anything you need from us. So there's no bad question.
I'll follow up with my question. Are there any general applications that students should know they have access to as students they may not be aware of, that it just comes along with paying tuition or paying their technology fees?
Let me try it this way.
Microsoft Office, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I can show that to you real quick too. That's a great question, by the way. Let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. Let's say screen 2, share. So can everyone see my Inside SOU screen? Perfect. So when I'm logged into Inside SOU, if I scroll down all the way to this online services, you're going to find most of the stuff you need inside this blue box. And in that box, if I scroll down far enough, I have this Office 365 button. And if I click that Office 365 button, again, it's making me log in. This is actually kind of unusual, but essentially I'll log into Office 365 and of course do the Duo thing again, which is so fun. But once I get logged in here, I have not only access to the apps online, but you can also download the full version of Office 365, and that can be on a Mac or a PC. But so I have all these apps here, and if I go to one particular app, you can see that I can easily just open something that I've been working on. But also from here, if I click on this little grid iron, or what I like to call a waffle menu, you'll see this Office 365 link. And if I click on that, then it brings me over here and I can right here install Office. And so you can install it on, I believe 2 machines. David, do you know the EULA on that?
I don't think there is a limit for Office 365 on how many installs you can have.
Awesome. So yeah, that's how you get to that. Any other apps that you can think of, David? I mean, we have a surveying program that you can use that you'll probably use through some various class, I'm guessing, throughout your years here at SOU. Anything else?
Media checkout and the loaner equipment. Like we have 2 pools of equipment that we loan. One is special because of the fires and COVID. You probably received a text message from Tom Battaglia, or I don't know who said it on his behalf, but we are offering, we have some Chromebooks, some webcams, and some headsets that you can request if you have a need for those for the term. And then Gordon's really involved with media checkout over at our IT help desk, where we have equipment that you can borrow on a short-term basis with faculty permission. But we have a wide variety of devices there. We have cameras, a microphone. That portable PA system is pretty cool. We have a lot of good stuff there. So you should check with those if you have an equipment need. We can probably hook you up with something.
Yeah, we have projectors too. So what I've done in the past, and don't tell your teacher this is why you're using it, but if you set up, we have screens, portable screens with a projector, and then you put the PA system behind it, and it's pretty much like a theater. Now, I'm not saying that's license-wise, you should be doing that. But anyway, it's one of the things you might be able to do.
And does everyone know where our help desk is located and how to get a hold of us there? I just posted the help desk email address and phone number to the chat just so you all have it. It's good to keep that handy. And we're in the Computing Services East building on campus. It's the 2 brick buildings, kind of in between Taylor and Central Hall and Science if you're heading up the hill.
I also want to point out that not on the help desk side during the week before school starts and 2 weeks after, but after that, we do have labs on campus that you can use. And so if you need somewhere to come to actually use a computer, just let us know and we'll let you know what labs are open. Any other questions? Is everyone excited to start the term or? Cool.
We got to overcome that apathy, everyone. Let's do it.
That's right. They're young enough. They have hopes. It's all there. Yeah. Payment plans. So there's a question about payment plans. What are you referring to, Maisie? What do you mean by payment plans?
For like paying stuff in your account or stuff that you need to pay to the school instead of paying it all at once.
I think so this is our IT workshop. Are you thinking about the financial aid workshop? That's after this.
Sorry.
That's all right.
That's
Hold on
okay.
to that question. Hold on to that. That's good. I know you're excited to hear about that. Anything else? Anybody?
You could pay us though if you want.
Yeah, I'm sure they would take something on the side.
Are we allowed to like back up personal files in our box?
Yeah, that's completely fine. You can say whatever you want there. I mean, obviously, I would make sure that it's school related, but or at least not something that you don't want to have shared with anyone else.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to ask.
Yeah, just make sure if you store personal stuff in any of your SOU affiliated accounts, that when you're done taking classes, we'll let your account ride for about a year. But after that, we're going to shut it down. Gordon's actually quite involved in that. And every year there's always a couple people that are like, oh, hey, I used my SOU email address to sign up for like a banking account. And just make sure we kind of discourage you using, just put some personal files on Box. No big deal. Just make sure you put them somewhere else when you stop being a student here. But with that SCU email address, like, we really discourage you signing up for a lot of accounts online with that. Better to just make a free private email address so you don't end up in that situation when we shut your email account down later.
Other questions, folks?
Where do I get drapes like that?
Nice.
That's actually my door because it's oddly curved and we can't get a door to fit it.
Gotcha.
I do have a question. So say a student's on campus and they're having some technical issues with a computer they did not borrow from you. Can IT give any kind of support with that?
We can provide support for anything that's SOU related, as in one of our services. We don't do hardware support, but if you're having problems connecting to one of, like our wireless network, yes, you can definitely come by the help desk. We'll help you out. If you're having problems with, say, your Office 365 or anything SOU related, we're definitely there to help. But we pretty much draw the line at any hardware support.
Even SOU related is definitely a benefit, folks. Anything else? Now is your chance. They are held captive here, so.
Yeah. I guess I'll ask a question. Is there any, like, if you're at home, is there any limitation to what you can access while you're at home?
Nothing I think that would be relevant to students.
Okay.
It'd all be on like the faculty and staff side. There's some like the student information system banner. We're not going to let you access that off campus for security reasons, but anything a student would need, they can get to it off campus.
Okay, great.
We even have, I'll paste a knowledge base article in the chat here, but we have this remote lab environment that might be a real boon to some students. Like from your computer, you can log in over the internet to basically one of our lab computers where we've set it up already with Microsoft Office, and one of them has a lot of specialized software on it that maybe you have to use for a math class or a science class, and I'll put some information in there. I see we have a question about, do you want to answer how often IT is open?
Yeah. So during the summer, so right up until, let's see, the 21st, so the rest of this week, we are not open on the weekends. We're only open until 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday. However, starting the 21st, we'll be open from 8 to 6 Monday through Friday, and 10:30 to 6 on Saturday and Sunday. We're also available via chat during those times. So I'll also put support.su.edu. I think that we might have already said this, but if you go to support.su.edu, you'll see that there's should be someone available via chat. And so if you just have a question, you rather chat, you don't rather call, we're there for you as well. I believe that that's the 23rd, but instructional, I think, starts after, but in my eyes, I would say the 23rd is the start. Does anyone have any other information on that?
Third. Yeah, 23rd. Tuesday.
Is the box website something that all of our teachers will likely be using, or is it more of just like storage for us?
That's going to depend on your professor. So a lot of our online learning modules through your Moodle site. As I think Troy was pointing out, though, if that file size is a limitation, they may put it on Box. But I believe your professor will definitely be letting you know if that's going to be something you'll be using.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, should we let him go? Yes. Yeah. Anybody
I think
have
if that's all the questions you
any
have.
pressing questions before they leave? No? And obviously you'll run into things as they come up, use the information that they gave you. And we can Daniel and I can answer a few questions like the basics and all of that. But certainly you can always ask us and we can help you connect to IT and get everything set up. And we'll try to make this information available on our Moodle as well for so that you have that information in a central location. So I guess we'll let David and Gordon go. Yeah.
Thank you both
Get
so
back to
much.
it. Yeah. Thank
Our
you.
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a great day. Okay. Troy, do you mind cutting the recording for this one?
Oh, no, I will do that. There we go. Oh.